The SBA says they're now 10 times faster at getting you money. And how do we know this? Because they recently held a webinar. Here's the webinar, where they highlighted many of the changes to the EIDL programs. And in this, the SBA talked about some major process changes that they've made that are going to dramatically increase and have dramatically increased the speed in which you should be funded through your EIDL. So this webinar was about an hour and a half long. So I'm going to summarize the most important parts and break down everything you need to know. That way you don't have to watch it unless you want to watch it, which I'll have it linked down in the description. Also, I apologize if you see me looking up for any reason and it seems odd to you. It's because the unit above me right now is flooding. There's been a leak for like 2 weeks. They found it, but then they broke a pipe and I can literally hear water running and I'm like bracing for a downpour. So I'm sorry if I'm looking up and you're like, what is this guy doing looking up? I'll have a video on this over on my vlog channel in like a few days or maybe like a week or so. So if you want to see the result of this flooding and the craziness going on, go and subscribe to my vlog channel. But anyways, talking about this EIDL program, I got all this computer equipment here that I'm a little bit nervous about, but we need to talk about the EIDL. So they've made some major changes to the EIDL program and they've improved processing and they've added more personnel. And with this, they've increased the speed in which they can process EIDL loan increases. Now, I know a lot of people have been interested in getting their loan bumped up from 6 months of working capital to 24 months of working capital, but very few people have actually received that increase, and this is what their major focus is. So they're doing this in a few ways. First off, they're transitioning the program to the Office of Capital Access. That's the office that facilitated the Paycheck Protection Program, and now that that's winding down, it seems like they're shifting over some of the work to that office and having some more manpower added, and it seems like that office is doing a pretty good job right out the gate to process these more quickly. And they are increasing review productivity. We'll go into that in a second. And they say they have some major customer service improvements. So here's a screenshot from the webinar that breaks down a ton of details that are really helpful to see what exactly is going on here. So we can see in the bold here that the SBA went from a daily processing rate of 1,647 per day on June 28th to 20,169 on July 21st. Less than a month later, a 12-fold increase in efficiency. The loan officer productivity went from 1.86 applications per day to 15 applications per day. And with this, they're expecting their entire EIDL loan increase backlog to be completely reviewed by August. Now, that doesn't mean every single person will be approved, but they're going to review each and every application by August is what they're saying. Now, I'm unsure exactly how this number will exactly be hit. Now, we don't have exact numbers on the outstanding loan increase requests. However, we do know a few things. The total EIDL loans are 3.8 million, and that's increasing because more and more people are still applying for this program. The EIDL loan increase is very popular, more popular than I would have ever guessed. More people want to bump up this EIDL loan. And if we do some simple math and say if only 40% of EIDL recipients want to increase their loan, this leaves 1.5 million increases to be processed. Now, they have dramatically increased their processing rate to 20,000 a day, and they said that even one day they did more than 30,000 in a single day. But even at 20,000 a day, if they were doing that every single day in the entire month of August, that would equal 600,000 requests processed. So based on my estimations, even though productivity has increased about 7x from 1.86, more than 7x, the loan officer productivity, that is, they would actually need to increase it around 22x to complete all applications by the end of August, in my estimation. Now, there's a few possible explanations to this. One, the numbers could be far lower than expected, which I don't think is the case because, again, I've noticed how popular this program was to bump up the loan size. Like I said, I was very surprised at how popular this was. And number two, they could expect loan increase processing and productivity to dramatically increase again from current levels. Maybe they're expecting it to jump up from an average of 20,000 to an average of 60,000 or something dramatically more. Now, of course, that's not just a manpower increase. They must have some massive improvements in efficiency on the back end in order to automate all of this that's going on. That way they can just process far more because they're not hiring 30x more people. There's just no way that they've done it efficiently it's got to be tech on the back end when they move that over to the new office and they started handling these requests. Now, if you have submitted for an increase and you've actually received it, or if you haven't received it, let me know in the comments, because I'm really curious, like, were you part of these significant numbers in the last few weeks? Did you just see some processing? Did you see some movement on your EIDL loan increase? Because I'm really curious. They're saying everyone should be contacted by the end of August, so keep me posted. Let me know your situation down in the comments. Now, as far as the EIDL data goes, we haven't received the most recent release yet. It seems like it's a bit delayed again this week, but I want to do a brief recap of where exactly we're at and then talk about the funding that's remaining here. So here is the most recent data that we have with the approvals. We're just going to take a look at the graphs that I've put together here. So we can see the total $10,000 EIDL grant approvals are at $299,295. In the last few weeks, it's really flattened out, but it's been fairly steady with the exception of one big jump up here. For weekly approvals, you can really see the dramatic increase with that huge jump of 58,000 approvals in one single week. With the $5,000 supplemental grant approvals, we can see that this is fairly steady as well, again, with that big jump up in the 1 week, but then this one's been much more steady. And really, the biggest reason for this is once you're approved for the $10,000 grant, they have most of the information that they need in order to process the $5,000 grant. So once you apply for that, they have pretty much what they need. So it seems to happen very quickly after you receive the $10,000. If you're eligible for the $5,000, you get it fairly quickly. In most cases, I've heard some edge cases where that's not always happening, but most of the time. And then this is just the weekly approvals. We can see these two big spikes. This is, of course, when they first started doing the approvals, and then that big, there's some work going on upstairs now. And then this big jump up here. Sorry if you hear noise. We'll try to wrap this up quick. So with the EIDL grant program, there's something I wanted to point out, and that's the fact that there's more than 80% of the funding for this entire program still sitting there, not spent yet. I'm sorry about this noise. I don't have any other time to record this. I'm in a bit of a rush. So 80% of that funding is still not spent yet. And the program, they're still advertising. Part of the reason for that webinar was to say, hey, go and apply for this program. Let your friends and family know about this program so we can get this funding out. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what exactly happens with the remaining funding. Are they going to open this up to all locations? That would be interesting. Are they going to have a different kind of qualifying criteria? Now, they've said in the past that they would need some kind of congressional action in order to change those criteria. So we would have to see, what's done with remaining funding, or would they just allocate it to something else completely differently, or allocate it to the Paycheck Protection Program. And we're going to wrap this one up for today because I keep having to cut with these noises. So go and check out the blog channel for once I post what's going on with this leak, so I can end this video and hide all my equipment so it doesn't flood here when I start having water rain down through the ceiling.
The leaks are up here. You can see, oh, there's a bugger right there. Little drips. They're really slow, but they're consistent. Little leaks.
And then computer equipment right below the leaks. Look at that. This thing's been dripping all night. Make matters worse, before I realized what was going on, it dripped on my keyboard and now the apostrophe doesn't work. Nothing. See that? So I'd like to thank you for watching and I hope you have a profitable day.